All right, let's go and start things off with the handbag here. Now, depending on the type of bag you may have one that looks exactly like this, or maybe the same kind but a different color, or sometimes you may have one like this, or you may have something that looks totally different. But in most cases, they're basically designed the same way. You got the front here where you're going to be striking on, and then you have the back here where we have the straps. And depending on the size and the design of the bag, you'll probably have, most of them have two straps like this one, but you may have the one strap here. Like I said, depends on the design. Those are nice here if you have the plastic hand grips. That gives you a little more control over the bag when you're holding them or when your partner's holding them. But just the regular strap here works just as good, but I do prefer that one there. But when you're holding it, you know, it's simple, common sense. You just slide your hand up through, and on this one, on this design here, it's actually got it to where you can tighten it up. It's got a little slider there, and you can put the Velcro on it, which is very nice, I think. So when you're holding it, like for a punch or something, what I would tell your person that's helping you hold the bag is basically just get in like a short front stance. And like on the flock, if you're holding it for a front punch, make sure when you're holding it, or when you're telling your back holder to hold it up right next to their face. Obviously, you don't want somebody holding it right in front of their face like this, because you know what's going to happen when they hit it. It's going to come back and hit you in the face there. And I've seen that mistake happen. So when you're holding it, hold it out to the side of your face like this right here. I mean, if you get too far out, it's going to get awkward. But just have it to where it's comfortable and away from your face and the center part of your body there. So out to the side, not in front of the face. And let's see, like your back fist. When you learn your back fist and your spinning moves like that, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hold it out and maybe get like a half of a back stance and half of a fighting stance, just something comfortable. Because when you're holding the bag, you want to be loose. You don't want to be tensed up like this, and when they try to hit it, you're sitting there resisting them. And when you do that, you're going to hurt the bag, the person that's striking the bag, and you're also going to hurt yourself too if they're real powerful and strong, because you got those joints and that kind of stuff there that you don't want to damage. So when you're holding the bag, be loose and give when they hit it, because like I said, you don't want to work against them. You want it to be a natural. You want it to be natural. You don't want it to be something that's difficult, and definitely, like I said, don't work against them. So when you hold it loose, and when they hit, like if they hit it with a round kick or a back fist, just give a little bit, let it go, just go with the flow, flow with them. And one thing I would suggest, like when you get into your kicks and stuff, and you may not be as familiar, I would not hold it, this close to you, because people do misjudge their distance, especially when they first start the program or when you first start martial arts. So I would hold it out at arm length, and if you see they're getting a little close or whatever like that, you can back up or move to the side and stuff like that. So just hold it about arm length out, have a little bend in your arm. You don't want it straight out locked, because you can have injuries like that. So you want to give yourself some room there to move around and bend in there especially for your elbow. So arm length, not close to the face, definitely not. And work with the person that's striking the bag. You don't want to be working against them and, like I said, forcing, moving the bag. Especially, that's one thing I want to point out. Don't move the bag. Even though you are going to get some, you are going to have a little nervousness about holding the bag at first, and you might jerk it or you might move it back or something like that. But when you're doing it, don't be a joker. Like when they go to kick it, go back to me like this, and they miss the bag, and because there are a lot of injuries that can happen like that. So don't be a joker. Make sure when you're practicing, try to be 90% serious when you're doing this. So work with them. Don't move it back. Let's see. Oh yeah, one other thing. When you're picking out a bag, you'll notice the width here. There's more padding. I like the design of this one because it's larger, but on this one you have more padding, and you can see that from the side view there. And if you have someone that's a real strong kicker or puncher, make sure you look at the design of the bag, because you want something that's a little thicker for them. But if you're a kid or if you have a child that's in the program, I mean, this is perfectly fine, something thin like this. But once you get up into the upper ages or higher ages and stuff, you want something thicker, because you are going to feel those heels and knuckles and stuff like that once you get up to a certain age or skill level or something like that. So thicker bags are better for I would rather have one in general, just a thick bag to work with, because they do offer the kicker or the martial artist more protection, and also the person holding the bag, because if you're holding the bag for a while and you have different people coming through, like here, if I'm holding the bag, you have your strong kickers and you have your not so strong kickers, and I try to pick out the big bag, even though the thinner ones might be a little more easier to work with. So let's see, another way to hold the bag. Well, on your board breaking video, I'm going to get into holding the boards, but on this one, you can actually hold the bag like you were holding a board. And the way you do that is you just grab the sides, put your fingers, and when you're holding it like this, don't hold it, don't crowd the bag. Kind of have it where you're comfortable, out to the side there, and just when you're holding it, on this one now, you do want to have your arms locked when they hit, but once they hit, you want to give a little bit. You don't want to be just solid stone figure there holding the bag there. So, and once we get into the board breaking and stuff like that, I'll show you the correct way to hold the bag and stuff like that. But when you're doing board breaking, there is a right and wrong way to hold the bag once you get into that skill level. But when you're doing just the bag here, it doesn't really matter exactly how you hold it, just as long as you give the person kicking or punching enough room to miss a little bit or anything like that. So, like I'm gonna say in the board breaking video, you don't want those fingers out here, because they will get smashed from time to time. So let's see. When you're holding it, just stay loose. Hold it away from your face. And one other thing, especially when you got these strong kickers, you want to make sure the person holding the bag, you want to have sort of a decent, strong stance, because you don't want to be standing, straight up like this, and they go to do a round kick and you spin around like 20 times or flipping the floor or something like that. So have a little common sense, get down your stance a little bit, and don't be super loose, but be where you can catch yourself once they hit, because like I said in the beginning of the video, you don't want to be super tense and like a stone, and when they hit it hurts them and it also hurts you. So be forgiving a little bit with the bag, work with them a little bit so there's no injuries on either side of it. So there you go, that's your handbag, and we will go to your large or body bag next.